Have you ever considered the cost of success? Or maybe you think about all the things you want to achieve, but sometimes you really don't think about the end result of what that could bring. Now, the difference is that most leaders want to be successful. They want to achieve goals and accolades and milestones and all these things, myself included, because I'm a high achieving leader. But there's a secret that most people don't talk about, and that's what are the hidden costs of success. Now, if you don't know me, I'm James Wilson. Welcome to Make a Slant. I'm a pastor, leadership coach, and I help high achieving leaders like you overcome misalignment so that you could grow deeper in your faith, deeper in your purpose, and in your relationships. I've also authored a book called Painformation, and I'm working on my second book right now. But in this episode, I really just wanted to share three things that are the hidden cost of success. Again, what you typically see is the end result. You see yourself down, right? You see yourself kind of on the flat ground, and you're looking up at a mountaintop of, hey, what is this thing I'm going to achieve? Whether that's in business, personal, professional, whatever the goal is, that's typically what you're thinking. Hey, this is something I want to do. This is something I am going to do. But the problem is that there is a cost to it. Just like there's a cost to kind of eating unhealthy and sitting around. There's a cost to that. There's a cost to not calling your friends. There's a cost to not getting the work done. But there also is a cost to success. And the whole point of today is to make sure that when you do that cost or when you weigh the options, that you still choose which direction is best for you. Number one cost of success is the emptiness of chasing more. Now, if you're a high achieving, ambitious leader like me, then you love to chase more. You love to go for it and get it done. You like to be busy and you like to achieve. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the cost of that is the emptiness of chasing more. Because you can chase more, but if your intentionality isn't focused on something more grounded or in the actual purpose of what you're doing, in the strong why, then you are going to end up being empty. Now, there's a rapper named J. Cole, and I remember there was an interview that he was giving, and they were asking him about, I believe he was just sharing that he rides his bike. He rides a bicycle, very wealthy, and all of these things. And so the interviewers, they were going, hey, why do you ride a bicycle? Why aren't you riding in the nicest car, going to the nicest place, have one of the nicest homes? And it was really interesting because you have a guy who is successful, right, in those terms of wealth. And he's saying, hey, this is one of the things he said. He's like, hey, there's always going to be something more. If you like women, you're always going to desire women. If you like houses, there's always going to be a house for you to buy. If you like shoes, there's never you can never have enough shoes. You're always going to buy more of what you desire in regards to chasing that. So if you are ambitious and you want to be successful, one of the hidden costs is the emptiness of chasing more, because the more you chase something, you're never going to get it, because it's like a game. You're never going to get it. I have a note here. This is from Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 10. It says this: he who loves money will not be satisfied with money. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This is also vanity. So if you love the chase, if you love the more, again, you're never going to have enough. And that is a hidden cost because people don't talk about that. And I've met numerous of people, whether they're business owners or whether they're entrepreneurs or leaders, parents, husbands, spouses, whatever the case is, they have this level of success in one of those domain areas of their lives, and unfortunately it's this thing to continue to improve, or this relentless passion that's just like, it could be extremely focused in a great area, right? There's nothing wrong with relentless passion. It's just when you take it away from a healthy standpoint and then you start leaning it more toward, I've reached this thing and now I'm going to get this at no matter the cost. And unfortunately, you can become addicted to chasing down success. And with that comes the emptiness, because it's not going to give you fulfillment. You're never going to have enough money to make you feel fulfilled. You'll never have enough items to make you feel fulfilled. It's just not, it, you know, I can say it over and over again, but it's really on, each and every one who, if you learn from other people's mistakes, you're going to get a whole lot further in life. But if you don't, then I highly encourage you to listen and not do that. And it actually reminds me of that story about King Midas, where there was a king and he was given a wish, and so he asked for everything he touched to be turned into gold because he loved gold. He was very, very greedy. But unfortunately, everything you touch turns to gold. Well, guess what you touch? You touch your family, you touch your food, you touch utensils, tables, chairs, clothes. My goodness, oh my. So now you have so much of this gold that it's actually ruining your life because it's taken over every single thing, every relationship, every item, everything. It's taken over. It's completely taken over your entire life. So that's a hidden cost of success, the emptiness of chasing more. Number two is this, is that you lose what matters most. Again, it's really hard because most people don't understand. Like the people that aren't very driven, they're not going to understand this episode because like the perspective is different. I am talking from a perspective of I am going to grow in every area of my life as best of my ability every single day until I die. Right? That's non-negotiable. Most people don't think like that. Most people don't live like that. Most people don't use their time to even go toward anything like that. So again, this episode is going to be really specific to a small group of people. So again, another cost of success is losing what matters most. And this specifically goes to your faith, your family, and your relationships. Now, the thing is like I've met a few people that actually, no, I heard a story of a gentleman who is very wealthy. And matter of fact, he's so wealthy that he just buys something just so that he can feel happy. And then over time, that happiness goes away. Or there's another gentleman, or maybe I'm sure you even heard of somebody who unfortunately kind of pushed aside their family, pushed aside loved ones and friends, pushed aside all these things to like pursue this goal. I'm going to pursue this goal no matter what. It's like, unfortunately, you've pursued the goal so much that you've isolated yourself from your loved ones and from God. There's a gentleman that I met that was extremely successful in business, but he did open up and it's like, hey man, I haven't been spending enough time with God. And so I think you have this thing of you get so focused on the achievement, you get so focused on the result that you're trying to get, you get so focused on the win that you really forget what matters most. And what matters most, at least to me, which I hope it is to you, is your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your kids, and then everything else. And then sometimes that could like flip towards, like the most important thing is this goal you're trying to achieve, and then maybe family, and then quiet time, devotional, prayer. Yeah, I don't really have time for that. But what we don't want is for you to flip your priorities. A hidden cost of success is to where your priorities get misaligned. And then you start, sure, achieving something over here, but what's the cost? It's cost you your marriage. It's cost you your relationships with your friends and family. It's cost you time with God. It's cost you stress, anxiety, frustration, guilt, shame, regret. Yeah, but you hit a goal, but the alternative is all of the other things. Dr. Stephen Covey says this. He said, it's incredibly easy to climb the ladder of success only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. You don't want to be leaning against the wrong wall. Are you leaning against the wrong wall today? Think about it. Think about where you are right now. Think about what actions you've made. Think about your relationships. Have you placed your ladder of success on a wall that's really not meaningful? I mean, sure, it's a great goal or it's something special, but is it, in the grand scheme of things, is it bringing you closer to the Lord? Is it bringing you closer to your family, or even closer to your purpose? Or is it not? That's for you to decide. But nevertheless, just like the book of Matthew says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his only soul? Now remember, it's not some, this isn't focusing so much on like this, like money's bad. Man, oh my gosh, I can't work. Money bad, wealth bad. This is not what this is about at all. It's, let me give a different example because I think some people would be like, oh my gosh, you're only talking about money. No. Let's say you have a goal or you want to become a published author or you want to lose a lot of weight. And what you do is instead of keeping your priorities straight, you put so much focus on what you're trying to do. You're trying to write your book, you close your door all the time. You stop spending time with your family, you stop doing other things because you're so focused on this one thing. Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sure, at the end of the day, sure, you write the book or you publish it or New York Times bestseller. But the hidden cost of that, the hidden cost is like, is it worth it? Or is there another way? Is there another way? And yes, there is another way, which I'll share through at the end after number 3. So remember, number 1, as far as the hidden cost of success, number 1 was the emptiness of chasing more. Number 2 was losing what matters most. Last one, number 3, is drifting from your purpose. Oh, this is so good. I'm really excited because it's like purpose is one of those things to where sometimes it catches up with you. And over time, you're like, man, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And it's really more an identity than actually like action oriented as far as purpose. But again, it's, did you start your business to like spend more time with your family? Did you start your business to spend more time with family? If so, where are you at today? Has your business actually helped you to spend more time and provide for your family? Or has your business actually pulled you more away from your family? Does that make sense? Like, as I was talking about drifting from your purpose, it's like, I started this business to, provide generational wealth and to be home more, be more present, go to my kids' games, have date nights with my wife, and be able to have time with God and have a morning routine and be able to pour into others and, teach them and show them the way and maybe do some generous things over here and give and donate and all that. Like you had this big grand scheme of things when you first started, but where you're at now is like you're working so hard down to the bone that you come home tired, exhausted, you barely having conversations. You're like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it was a good day. You're not as generous as you thought you'd be. Your relationships aren't growing as much as you thought they would. And you haven't poured into anybody. You haven't poured in or developed or helped anybody at all. Like you're not, helping another younger entrepreneur or a younger business owner like at all. Like zero. Like that can't happen. That's a cost of success. Because sure, the business is healthy and growing, but the cost is it's drifted you away from what you've actually set out to do in the first place. Instead of bringing you more time with family, you have less time with family. Instead of bringing you more money to be generous, you're kind of just sitting around going, what do I do with all this money? Instead of bringing you more peace, you have more stress because your systems aren't in place with your team or whatever the case is. That is a hidden cost of success. Now, the thing is, like, what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway with all of this? Like, why does this matter? Why is this important? What do I do with this information? Well, the thing is, like, success is not bad. Success is not the enemy. You should strive to be successful. Like, I should strive to be successful. Why? Because God wants you to live out what He's called you to live out, and that's being successful. Like, Be a successful spouse, be a successful teacher, an entrepreneur, parent, whatever the friend, right? Mentor, whatever the case is, be successful at it. Like Philippians, what is no Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly. Like put your whole heart in it, um, not for man, but for the Lord. And so that's success, like putting your whole heart into it. So success is not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing when you aren't aligned in your success, when your success isn't aligned in your priorities. Again, successful business, but it's misaligned. So now the cost is a broken home, a distant marriage, a drifting relationship with God, a drifting relationship with your purpose. What are you called to do? Those things. So again, success isn't bad. It's just if it's not aligned with your priorities, that cost, that hidden cost of success is going to reveal itself so strong because you're going to be sitting there going, I didn't start like how did I get here? How did I get here? Because it doesn't just happen immediately. It happens one day at a time as the drift creates a gap that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you have such a massive gap from where you started to where you are now. And you're going, how did I get here? Where do I even go from here? So I just want to share, if you are somebody and you're going, hey, I need to figure out, like, am I aligned in this thing? Like, am I aligned with my faith, my purpose, and my relationships? Then I have a free assessment for you. It's called the Alignment Score Success, the Alignment Score Assessment. So just go to alignment.scoreapp.com. Just go to alignment.scoreapp.com. Take that assessment. It'll take you 5 minutes, but that way you'll be able to see, like, where are you right now in your life? Like, are you aligned in your faith, purpose, and relationships, or are you not? But nevertheless, it'll give you a great idea of where you need to go. With that said, I hope you've enjoyed, and remember, you're one slant away from changing your life.